BBC Introducing in Lincolnshire.
Being on tour with Lewis Capaldi is a massive deal in itself. What was it like every single night?
It was such a big deal for me. Travelling about Europe was cool and such an experience.
I'm not joking, I fell in love with that song. So I started producing Future House.
All the bands are like fairly close and we were like, we really want to get into that and get our name out there.
The best new music from the county, studio sessions and conversation with local musicians.
BBC Introducing in Lincolnshire.
Tonight at 8 on BBC Radio Lincolnshire and on BBC Sounds.
To Sincilbank, Rob Makepeace and Steve Thompson with you for commentary of Lincoln City against Burton Albion. And Tomo, first thing to say this afternoon is we've not got the pre-match handshake, so the whole pre-match routine should be a lot quicker today.
Well, if you ask me, Rob, it's a nonsense, but there you go. If that's the way it's going to be, and like you said, I'm sure at the end of the game there'll be one or two handshakes. I wonder if the referee will shake hands with his linesman and all this. It amazes me, but there you have it.
Alan Shearer makes his debut for Lincoln City this afternoon. Intriguing to see how he gets on left-sided, left-footed centre-half alongside Bozzy.
Well, you would think his experience would stand him in good stead. He's played in promotion teams, he's played championship football, so he's an established player and he knows the position well. And he's playing against, playing with, should we say, Boswick. We know Bozzy's a real warrior, isn't he? And he just gives 110% every game.
And Lincoln need to start picking up some points, don't they?
Well, I mean, it's fortunate, or whichever way you want to put it, Rob, that we've got the points in the bag, isn't it? And that Tranmere seem to be in free fall, but you want to win games. I mean, that's why you play the game, to win it as a manager and a player. And supporters want to see a winning team. So
Lincoln City lining up. They'll be kicking towards the South Park end of the ground in the first half, the swap side. So it's Josh Vickers in goal. It is a back four of Josh Eardley, Neil Eardley, Michael Boswick, Alan Sheehan and Max Melbourne. Midfield three of Liam Bridcut, Joe Morrell and Connor Coventry. Front three of Anthony Scully, George Grant and Tom Hopper. On the bench, Charlie Andrew, Cian Bolger, Alice Chapman, Aaron Lewis, Zach Elbazini, Harry Anderson and Jake Hesketh. That is the starting 11 for the Imps, currently in a pre-match huddle, having some final words of encouragement ahead of this game. Nigel Clough, the Burton Albion manager, in the opposite dugout. And well, it's nice to have a game of football again, isn't it, Tom? It feels like a while, and a game of football that hopefully won't be too affected by the weather.
Yeah, I was thinking that this morning, Rob, actually. I thought it didn't seem like a fortnight, it seemed more like the season was just starting again.
So nobody wants to take the kick-off at the moment. Lincoln are going to take the kick-off in the end. It looks like Burton are going to line up in a 4-1-2-3 formation by the looks of it. And we await Lincoln to get us underway here on Hope and Glory on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. It will be Joe Morrell back in the starting 11 after suspension. And it's Alan Sheehan, first touch of the ball, long up in the air. Hopper nowhere near it. Bridcut picks it up, looks to play out to his left to George Grant. Coventry comes across, gets bullied off the ball by Lucas Akins, the front man for Burton. Morrell slides in, helps it back to Melbourne. Long ball up into the air, headed clear by Brayford for Burton. Again, he clears it long. Now Bridcut heads it to his right to Scully. Lovely turn from Scully, looks to play the ball through to Hopper. Nice idea from Scully, looked lively in the times we've seen him so far since his move from West Ham United. Burton looking to create their first bit of sustained pressure and sustained attack, and they are breaking away. Look to play the ball out wide to the left hand side. Ball is deflected off Neil Eardley. Already chance for the left back Reece Hutchinson to get forward for Burton, and they've got the first corner of the afternoon, Tomo. Yeah, just looking at it in the opening minute, Rob, it does look like a 4-4-2, doesn't it, with Scully going wide right, Grant staying wide left, and Coventry and Bridcut in the midfield. So, corner for Burton, left-footed out swinger in the opening minute and 10 seconds. Corner goes all the way, nearly in goal. In fact, Vickers is watching it go over his crossbar, and it will go behind. It will be a goal kick, goalless hit. Tomo.
Just looking at Michael O'Connor.
He's here.
Yeah, he must come to look at the game. He's up there with Lee Frecklinton. So.
And Freck just making his way up as well.
Two instrumental players in the season's gone by.
Eardley loops it long over the halfway line. Hopper trying to hold it up and lay it off. Lays it off to Coventry. Now Morrell. Scully's wide on the right. Morrell managing to pick the pass out to Scully. Just has to go back into Eardley. He goes for the chip ball forward. Coventry's made that run down the right wing. He's got two Burton players who are grappling for it. Cleared long by the away side to the halfway line. Sarkic for Burton trying to get there, but it's helped back by Bridcut to Sheehan. He goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Vickers. Takes a touch with his right foot. Sarkic was closing him down, but Vickers able to loop it long to the halfway line. Ball in midfield now with Ryan Edwards for Burton. He goes down to ground, and it's the first free kick of the afternoon given by the referee Scott Oldham.
Yeah, the game's a little bit hectic at the moment. They spend a lot of time in the air, the ball, and both teams not settled yet.
Ball with the number 21, John Joe O'Toole, former Watford man. Now out to the wide right for Akins to take it down. Good first touch from the number 10 into Brayford for Burton. Still 0-0 here on Hope and Glory if you just joined us. Brayford gets it back once again to Akins. Back to Brayford, looks to fizz it into Sarkic, chests it off. Bridcut has to be careful because Akins was leaking, and there's a mistake from Sheehan. Shot comes in, flashed across goal. It was poor really from Ryan Edwards in the end. It's kept him playing. Burton have thrown in a dangerous position, but nervy start from Alan Sheehan there, Tomo.
And it's this thing about playing football in your own 18-yard box again, Rob, isn't it? I mean, the first thing is clear the ball and get from the danger area. Trying to play a 5-yard ball in his own 18-yard box.
Lincoln still trying to defend. Akins gets it in the penalty area, calls back out to Edwards. Bridcut goes down, comes away with possession, steps away from Quinn. Scully's made a fantastic run down the attacking right. Bridcut tries to play it out. Scully just a little bit too much on the pass. It was spinning away all along from City's right winger, and it remains 0-0 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, it's an interesting formation, Lincoln, Rob. It's changed again, hasn't it? Bridcut sort of in front of the two centre-backs. It's like a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah, Hopper the...
Whatever happened to 4-4-2?
Frontman, yeah, very rare, isn't it? It's the rarely seen 4-4-2 now. Lincoln putting pressure on the Burton men, including Ben Garrett in goal today. Kieran O'Hara, the Burton goalkeeper, been handed a 6-match suspension. So Garrett getting his chance in goal for the away side today. Brayford has it. Looks to go back to the goalkeeper Garrett, where there's been a goal elsewhere in one of our local sides games involving Grantham Town. Martin McIntosh's first game in charge. How's it going so far, Graham Cowell?
Not the start he would wanted. Only 2 minutes gone. A free kick allowed to run too fast to the far post, and Lewis Myers fired through. John Walsnop. It's Atherton Colliery 1, Grantham Town 0.
Ball flashed across the Lincoln area from Akins, no real danger on it, goes behind for a goal kick. Ever had that, Tomo? You get into a new job, you think, right, I'm going to make all these changes, it's all going to be positive from now on, and 2 minutes in you find yourself a goal down?
Well, there's only one way for Grantham to go, isn't there?
Not a good start for Martin McIntosh, but a long way to go in that game.
Burton Albion certainly looking adventurous in these opening minutes.
Sheehan plays it all the way across the 6-yard box, finds Michael Bostwick for a second there though. Looked like Sarkic was going to steal in and try and win it, but dangerous. Why put yourselves under that pressure, Tom?
I don't stand it, Rob, because he's played it, and what's sound is Bostwick finished launching it 60 yards. So, I mean, he's just done what the goalkeeper can do from the very start.
Akins has it for Burton, looks to get it under control. Ball is behind Brayford. Burton trying to find a pass forward now. Brayford plays it into the number 29, Jamie Murphy, on loan from Rangers. Scored quite a few goals in recent weeks since that loan move. Something the manager of Lincoln, Michael Appleton, spoke about in this week's press conference, looking at players in the Scottish Premier League. Ball with Stephen Quinn, former Sheffield United man, in the centre circle. Now with Brayford, infield pass finds Sarkic, lovely spin from the Burton frontman, looks to find Murphy, who gets it edge of the penalty area. There's men over here, chance for the shot, and Burton have the lead. It was good incisive attacking play, and there was Joe Powell with the first time finish, and it is Burton who have the lead 1-0. thoughts on that goal, Tomo?
Well, I mean, Rob, it's been coming, hasn't it? It's been all Burton in these opening 7 minutes, and they look like the home team. They played control football, and really, they just passed it through Lincoln, didn't they? It was just little 1-2s that were given, and I've got to say, Rob, that the Lincoln team to me looks a little bit bedraggled at the moment, doesn't it? You can't see a formation, and as I said, Burton, they just played the ball through them and round them, and they were queuing up at the far post. There were actually 2 Burton players queuing up to put that at the back of the net.
Yes, it was an overload, wasn't it, really, from Burton? As you say, it wasn't great passing, was it? It was just simple one touch into feet, away you go.
I think there was 3 1-2s, wasn't there? And got to the edge of the 18-yard box, and really without a challenge just went past Sheehan. And as I said, there were 2 players in the left wing position waiting, 2 Burton players waiting just to have a strike on goal.
It's not a good start for Lincoln City or for Grantham Town this afternoon. Both find themselves a 0-0 down here on Hope and Glory on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Rob Makepeace and Steve Thompson, your commentary team. And already a few frustrations being aired by the Lincoln City fans in the Serenity stand alongside us.
It was just far too easy, Rob, wasn't it? The goal, it was just like a knife through butter. Yeah,
Burton have settled and have had a lot of possession. They've got it here. We'll get to Gainsborough in a second, where there's been a goal there as well. Ball is with the number 5, the centre half, Buxton. Looks to switch play to the left. Really good ball. Now in field to the goal scorer, Powell. Powell looks to get it into the penalty area. It's thumped clear by Michael Boswick. No pressure. So no men forward really for Lincoln City at the moment. Just Hopper there was waiting for the ball in the centre.
Sorry, Rob, if you look now to try and define a formation from Lincoln, you wouldn't be able to define it, would you?
No, it's difficult. Morrell looks like the midfielder furthest forward, doesn't he? But he's a long way off Tom Hopper as Aikins skips past the challenger Coventry. Bridcut bundles into the ground. Free kick Burton. Lincoln a goal down. Is it better news for Gainsborough Trinity at Lancaster City Dale Story?
It is better news. Trinity have taken the lead. Nicky Walker smashing in after Greg Smith headed it across the 6-yard box. Lancaster 0, Gainsborough 1.
Burton coming forward again, lots of space for Murphy down the right, plays it across the 6-yard box, and it's Neil Eardley in front of Josh Vickers. If he hadn't have got that touch on it, it would have been going into the back of the net. Still not cleared by Lincoln. What a vital block that was from Neil Eardley, Tomo. Oh, that was 2-0.
It should have been 2-0, Rob, shouldn't it, really? It was a great block by Neil Eardley, but I think the Burton player will be really disappointed that he's not put that in the back of Lincoln's goal, and quite frankly, it's a bedraggled Lincoln at the moment.
I've not seen an away side settle so well at Sincilbank in such a long time.
Well, the thing is, Rob, if you came as an outsider, you'd think Burton Albion were the home team, wouldn't you? They're just dominating possession and looking dangerous.
Yeah, finding passes. Quinn gets there, steps in front of Tom Hopper. Again, Burton now down there attacking left, looking to create something here. No pressure on the ball at the moment. Into the edge of the penalty area, cleared along by Sheehan. Hopper wins it, but heads it back towards his own goal. Coventry tries to win the 50-50, does so. Nobody on the halfway line for Lincoln. And again, Burton picking up the second ball through John Brayford on the halfway line. Goes to Aikins on his right. There's space for Aikins. And it goes out of play, and it will be a throw for Burton.
A few angry spectators next to us, Rob, isn't there?
Yes, there's one man who's not very happy at all.
It looks like he's going to have a heart attack, doesn't it, at the moment? He's really voicing his opinion.
Eardley now has it for the Imps. Over the halfway line comes City's right back to Scully, back to Eardley. Lincoln looking for options, and Neil Eardley saying, look, give me an option to pass it to and I'll pass it to you, but at the moment there's just nobody to pass it to.
Well, as I keep saying, Rob, I'm trying to look at a formation that Lincoln are playing, and it's, I mean, we've finished coming from Burton's half into our own 18-yard box nearly.
Boswick has it, now looks to switch play, ball's behind George Grant, and it goes straight out of play. Burton throw. We're 10.5 minutes in, Lincoln trailing by a goal to nil. I can tell you Tranmere are leading at Accrington 1-0 this afternoon, the only other goal in League One. Elsewhere locally, Boston 0-0 at Curzon, Grantham trailing at Atherton by a goal to nil, Gainsborough winning 1-0 at Lancaster. This time Burton with the uncharacteristic mistake from O'Toole, and Lincoln get themselves a throw, Tomo, but just not got going, have they, City?
No, what worries me, Rob, as well is, I mean, I've commentated with you quite a few times. You know my feelings about having flank midfield players as opposed to wingers. You don't get flank midfield players going past defenders, and that's where Anderson and the lad from Ireland, Zach, who are out-and-out wingers, can go past people, but flank midfield players, you have to work the ball past them.
Eardley and Scully working a 1-2. Tried to find Morel, but now Burton looking to move forward once again with Powell, the goal scorer. Plays it into the penalty area. She needs to get a good header on it, and does, because Murphy was lurking once again for Burton Albion. And now Bridcut has to go back to his goalkeeper, Josh Vickers. It's Lincoln 0, Burton 1. We're 12 minutes into this game, and Burton Albion have been the dominant force. Lincoln beat Burton away from home in the other corresponding fixture earlier on this season. But Lincoln just need to start. It just feels like one of those afternoons at the moment. Michael Boswick plays it to Neil Eardley, it bobbles over him and goes out of play. Now Murphy tries to go past Boswick, no foul, says the referee, but it just does feel like one of these days, doesn't it, at the moment, Tomo? Nothing is going right for Lincoln City. They're miscontrolling it, they're misplaying passes.
Well, if you didn't know better, Rob, you'd think they'd never met each other, would you?
Ball again, Scully this time gives it away. Sheehan in with the sliding challenge on Murphy. Burton have it once again though, leading by a 0 here on Hope and Glory. Shrewsbury have taken the lead against Oxford 1-0 there at the New Meadow. Brayford has it. Hopper tries to steal in there on Buxton, who just tells Brayford not to take any risks, and that's the difference, isn't it, so far, Tomo? With Burton, with their passing, they're trying to be incisive, they're trying to move it forward, and if they can't, they just play it safe and then spring another attack, and that's exactly what they've done here. There's a man over on the left-hand side once again. Cross is going to come into the penalty spot. Lincoln still trying to defend it. Sheehan clears it into the Stacey West stand for a corner.
Well, every attack that Burton are having, Rob, it looks like it's going to result in either in a goal or certainly a shot on target, and they just dominated this opening 14 or 15 minutes, and quite frankly they should have had more than one goal.
So corner for Burton, their second of the afternoon. They wasted the first one in the opening minute and a half. They lead by a 0 here. What are they going to do with their second corner here at Sincil Bank? Corner does come in towards the near post, headed away by Boswick, straight back out to the corner taker once again. Second chance to get a cross, and it's a decent one, headed away this time by Tom Hopper. It's going to go out of play on Burton's attacking right for a throw.
It's all hands to the pumps at the moment for Lincoln, isn't it? And to defend in numbers.
Brayford gets the ball stolen off his feet by Bridcut, looking for options. Bridcut goes to ground, and referee gets Lincoln City a free kick. Still 1-0 to the away team.
Yeah, that's the first bit of decent play from Lincoln where they've looked to go forward.
Melbourne back to Sheehan, signed from Luton this week, or on a free transfer. His previous club was Luton. Looks for the long ball forward. Grant goes to win it. Hopper lurking. Buxton clears it up into the air, and that's the first time I can remember turning my neck to the left.
Well, it's 15 minutes, and it's the first time we've been into Burton Albion's 18-yard box.
Throw for City for Max Melbourne to take. That goal from Powell, 7 minutes in. The difference between the two sides so far. Lincoln trailing by a 0 here on Hope and Glory. Melbourne plays it to Grant, back to Max Melbourne again, back in the starting 11. Bridcut has it now. Hopper in the penalty area as Bridcut tries to play it forward again. Burton able to win it back, and now looking to spring a counter-attack with Edwards. Edwards plays it forward, and Sarkic is going to try and get there, but good defensive play this time. Good midfield defensive play by Connor Coventry as Josh Vickers picks it straight out of play. And Burton have taken the throw quickly. Akins finds Murphy. Lincoln just aren't at the races here. Murphy, right-footed, cross, comes into the box, comes back out to the edge of the penalty area, chance for the shot, and this time Lincoln do defend through Connor Coventry, and Morel can bring it forward. Now into Scully, he miscontrols it, but just not happening, Tomo, is it? It is just not happening.
Well, a lot of just fundamental errors, aren't they? Just miscontrol and then not getting hold of the ball and allowing it to run under the foot or over the foot. I mean, the difference is, Rob, that Burton are playing with some purposefulness, aren't they? As you said, playing the ball forward. There's lots of balls going into players' feet. They're running off and making options for each other.
Girdley plays it infield to Bridcut here on Hope and Glory. Lincoln trailing by a goal to nil. We've got 28.5 minutes left of this opening 45, and Lincoln needing to improve. Grant looks to take it past Brayford. Grant does well, then looks to cut back inside on his left, plays it back out to the edge of the penalty area. Calls of shoot for Joe Morrell, and he does shoot, but it hits the executive boxes in that South Park stand, and it remains Lincoln 0, Burton 1.
We saw the first bit of decent play from Grant wide on this left. He beat the Burton right back, didn't he, and put a great ball into Morrell for a strike on goal and completely shanked the ball, didn't he?
Elsewhere in League One, Coventry leading at Ipswich 1-0. Southend leading against Bristol Rovers 1-0. What about Boston United in National League North at Curzon, Mark Hope?
Yeah, still 0-0 here, Rob. It's 16 minutes in. Boston should be 1-0 up. Great play, interlink play between Frank Mulhern and Dominic Knowles. Set Martin Walford up on the penalty spot. First touch with his right foot, second touch with his left. Thought he was going to score, hit it straight at the goalkeeper. Still 0-0, but fairly even.
So Boston, the only side yet to score or have a goal in their game. Lincoln trailing 1-0 here against Burton. Gainsborough leading 1-0 against Lancaster. Grantham trailing at Atherton by a goal to nil. Free kick for City near the halfway line. Sheehan flips it up into the air. One for Hopper to win. Buxton bundles into the back of Tom Hopper, and it will be a free kick 20 yards out, right on the edge of the penalty area, left of centre. Tomo, this suits the right footer.
Yeah, for me it's a right footer. The keeper will line his wall up to the right hand side, and he'll take the left hand side of the wall. It's got to be up and over the top of the wall and in the top right hand corner. I would imagine that Grant is the one who would fancy this.
Yeah, Grant is over it, and looks like he's moved it away from the penalty area just to give him a little bit more space.
Well, it's actually better, Rob, when you're further away, because then you've got more chance of getting it over the wall.
So Grant over this one, left to the D, 20 yards out. Grant, here's the referee's whistle, steps up, right footing, hits the wall, goes behind, will be a City corner.
Yeah, not enough height on the ball, was it? It's an easy header for the wall to clear. Lincoln just starting to ease their way into this game.
First corner of the afternoon, City trailing by a goal to nil. Grant to take this right-footed in swinging corner. Comes in towards the far post. Does the keeper get a touch on it? Referee says no, goal kick. Sheehan wanted a penalty given for a foul at the far post. Tom, your thoughts on that?
No, nothing for me. First thoughts of the Burton goalkeeper. Looks a little bit suspect on crosses there. He was flapping, wasn't he, from that corner? And if I was a Lincoln player, I'd be saying the next free kick, the next corner, we'd put that under the crossbar.
Let's get to Boston, where there's a penalty.
Yeah, there's a penalty to Boston. John Thulis has just put the ball on the spot. I think the referee's just looking at the assistant. He's going to call the offender to him, Mahmood Ali. I thought it was about to be taken, Rob, so I do apologise for this, but yeah, Mahmood Ali's going to be booked. It's a foul on Martin Walford. Great play from Frank Mulhern. Set up Martin Walford. His first touch was excellent. Took it past Mahmood Ali, and he just sided him down. So the referee's still talking to him. So stay with me, Rob, if you can. The referee's just booking Mahmood Ali. Taking his time about it. So I apologise to all Lincoln City supporters if you think it'd be a yellow card. It is a yellow card for Mahmood Ali, who brought down Martin Walford. So the penalty will now be taken. John Thulis has got the ball in his hands. He's put it on the spot. Boston could do with this. They've just had a little bit sloppy in their passing and just giving Curzon a little bit of initiative into this game.
Lincoln, it's Anthony Scully, goes to play across goal. He's a tap in for Tom Hopper, and Lincoln City have levelled it up here at Sixel Bank. Great play from Scully down the right. The tap in for Hopper, he scores. Lincoln level 1-1.
That's what they needed to get back into the game as quickly as possible, Lincoln, because they looked like Burton were going to run away with the game, and it's a dreadful mistake, isn't it, from Bucks and the Burton centre-back, who really made a mess of that, didn't he? And he presented the chance to Scully, and Scully did well, just an easy ball across the 6-yard box, and Hopper just a simple tap in.
Let's go back to Boston for that penalty, Mark.
Yeah, Jordan Thurles has converted it, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. No more than really Boston deserved that. They started this game well, they're 1-0 up.
So good news for Boston, leading by a goal to nil. Good news for Lincoln City, who've levelled thanks to Tom Hopper. First chance we've seen, really, of Lincoln being able to attack. First goal for the club. Important goal. Tomo. Important goal for Lincoln.
Yeah, I just think that Lincoln really need to settle into the game now, and if they can get a second goal and just put Burton on the back foot, because Burton were playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of composure.
Yeah, again, a mistake from Buxton, just overplaying for Burton, and then Scully could nip in, played it across, and Tom Hopper gets his goal for Lincoln City.
Yeah, I think there's too much in a lot of divisions, Rob, of managers asking players to do things that they're not equipped to do, and playing football in the wrong parts of the pitch.
Free kick goes against Michael Boswick, taken quickly by Burton. Boswick is the man who deals with it. Hopper tries to get there, instead Morrell picks it up, he gets bundled to the ground by Quinn, who hooks the ball. Lincoln get themselves a free kick, played quickly and the referee stopped it, just as Scully had a bit of space, but much better from Lincoln City. They've finally woken up. We're halfway through this first half. It's Lincoln 1, Burton 1. Elsewhere, Boston leading at Curzon by a goal to nil. Jordan Thewis with a penalty. Gainsborough 1-0 up at Lancaster. Grantham 1-0 down against Atherton Collieries.
Yeah, I think the word you used, Rob, where they've woken up, because they seemed half asleep from that opening 15 minutes, didn't they? There was nothing happening for them. Too many individual mistakes as well.
So Grant over this free kick for City. Looks to play it towards the far post. Picked up by Joe Morrell. Out wide to Sheehan. Looks to the back heel. Out of play for a City throw. To be taken by Melbourne. Sheehan just marshalling the City defence as ball's thrown in by Melbourne to the goal scorer Hopper. Grant now has it out wide to Melbourne, plays it into the box, picked up by Grant once again, edge of the penalty area, back to Morrell, now out wide to Melbourne, looks to get the cross in, cuts back inside on his right foot, crosses half decent, cleared by Burton though. Bridcut mops it up for City. Coventry to Eardley on Lincoln's attacking right now. Infield to Scully. Bit of space for Scully to line up the shot. He does get the shot away and it's just wide of the post. Anthony Scully on the turn. Decent effort. And it remains Lincoln 1, Burton 1 here on Hope and Glory.
I think there's a bit of enthusiasm being injected into Lincoln getting that equalising goal, isn't it? They've sprung into action finally.
Yeah, much better from City. Went behind 7 minutes in. Joe Powell with the goal for Burton, but the leveller coming through Tom Hopper in the 21st minute. Sheehan heads it up into the air. Akins controls it down for Burton. He loops the ball up into the air, which is comfortable for Boswick to deal with. Now Morrell looking to break forward, finds Grant. Morrell's made the forward run and finds Morrell. Lincoln got an overload on the left if they want to use it. Instead Morrell keeps hold of it, goes down under Akins' challenge. And again, simple free kick for the referee to give.
Yeah, simple free kick. It seems to have rattled Burton, that equalising goal, doesn't it? They look a lot more nervous now, Burton, and Lincoln doing better because they're playing the ball forward as opposed to square and back.
So chance for George Grant to create something once again. Sheehan also forward for this free kick. Just having a conversation with George Grant. And the ball's going to be left for Sheehan to take this set play. Boswick forward, Hopper there as well to aim for. So Sheehan, left-footed, plays the ball in, good ball, headed away by Burton, cleared further away by John Joe O'Toole, picked up by Eardley, goes back to Powell, to Morrell, and Powell was lurking close to him. Vickers, first time, high up into the air, just holds up in the wind ever so slightly. Hopper goes down to ground, nothing given by the referee. Hopper wanted a free kick. Morrell then sells Neil Eardley short, and it's Burton looking to come forward, but again Michael Bostwick is the man there, plays it into Scully on the halfway line, back to goal, and Lincoln get themselves out of a hole and go back to City's number 16, Michael Bostwick. Spoke this week about his love of playing for the Imps. Sheehan now forward, looking for Hopper. First touches to control it, now looks to turn away from Brayford, played into the penalty area, cleared again by Buxton. Much better from Lincoln City. If Burton dominated the first 15 or so minutes, the last 10's all been about Lincoln City. Level through Tom Hopper's goal. Bostwick, great defending once again, but given away with the forward pass. Scully comes back to help defending, gives it into Sheehan, and Lincoln just need to get themselves composed again. Tomo, that's the key, isn't it? It's gone a bit frenetic last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was a very lethargic start, wasn't it, from Lincoln, as though they just never got going the opening, as I said, 15 minutes, and since they equalised they've looked a lot more lively, haven't they? There's been more injection of enthusiasm, and they've looked more composed.
Sheehan's free kick couldn't find Eardley. Coventry picks it up. Eardley now back to Bostwick on the halfway line here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire Hope and Glory. Sheehan has it. Gives it away straight to the goal scorer Powell. He goes out wide to the left. Burton on the attack in the penalty area. Shot is deflected. It's an easy save for Josh Vickers in the end. He bowls it out quickly to George Grant. Morrell's in the centre of midfield in space. Grant plays it into Morrell on the halfway line. Scully's wide right. Hopper's to his left. Morrell goes down to ground. And Joe Morrell must have been fouled about five or six times in this opening half an hour, Tomo.
Yeah, given a lot of free kicks away, Burton, and the main difference for me, Rob, is that, as I said, Lincoln, they're moving the ball quicker. They're playing two-touch now, and they're having forward options and getting the ball forward more quicker.
So it is going to be a free kick for City once again, midway inside the Burton half. Grant goes back to Sheehan. Grant then plays it into Morrell, held back to Bridcup. It's Lincoln 1, Burton 1 on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Coventry to Bostwick, to Bridcup. Coventry again. Lincoln not able to get out of their own half at the moment. Then Sheehan chips it forward. Grant holds the ball up well, looks to the back heel to Coventry, but Aikins steals it for Burton. Now with the experienced Quinn. Edwards goes to flick the pass from right to left. It's cleared along by the left back Hutchinson, straight through to Josh Vickers, but a lot better from Lincoln City, Tomo, this last 10 minutes, especially since the goal from Hopper.
Well, Burton have got more nervous since they conceded the goal. They looked really assured when they were 1-0 up, and since conceding the goal they've looked really nervous. They've looked poor at the back and not keeping the ball as well as they were in the opening 15 minutes.
Ball headed forward by O'Toole. Rochdale taking the lead against Rotherham 1-0. Elsewhere in League One, Boston in National League North leading at Curzon. Gainsborough in the Northern Premier Division leading at Lancaster. Grantham trailing at Atherton. Of our featured games so far this afternoon. Brayford for Burton, plays it forward into the path of Murphy. Aikins is to his right. He's found the pass to Aikins, fizzed across goal. There's a free man at the far post. Chance to play it back across goal, and it's helped in, and Burton have retaken the lead. And it's a second goal for Joe Powell this afternoon. He just helped back across the penalty area. First touch into the back of the net. Lincoln 1, Burton 2.
Well, once again, there's two Burton Albion players. As that ball was crossed from the right wing, there's two Burton Albion players queuing up in the right back position, and Eardley's got two Burton players to mark, which he can't do, and it's just a simple goal, wasn't it? He was whipped into the 6-yard box and then side-footed in from 3 yards. It's the goals are just too easy.
So 2 goals for Powell for Burton, and Lincoln, after having that spell, Tomo, last 10 minutes of really putting pressure on the away side, they now found themselves with it all to do again.
Well, just when you think they've sorted it out, I mean, they just look disjointed at their back, Lincoln, and Sheehan's come in as an experienced player, and really it's disastrous defending.
So Lincoln 1, Burton 2 with half an hour played. Plenty of goals in this game.
More to come, Rob, I think, as well.
Well, yeah. Both sides looking to want to play it out from the back, and that's going to cause problems as well as Coventry. It's a long one for Grant to chase. It's going to go out of play for a throw for Burton right near the corner flag. But both goals similar in the fact that there's been that overload, though, Tomo, at the far post on Lincoln's defensive right. Why has that happened twice, do you think?
Well, I mean, Scully's sort of occupying a wide right position, but when Burton are attacking and getting into the Lincoln's 18-yard box or defending third, he's just not tracking back. And as I said earlier, he's been left with two players at the far post. Scully's got to come back and track one of the players back.
Ball given away by Edwards into that man Scully. Goes round one man Scully into the edge of the penalty area. Challenge comes in and Brayford clears it away with the outside of his right foot. Again, lively from Scully, just direct from the wide man.
It's got to be said, Rob, that both back fours look really nervous, don't they? And poor defending from Burton Albion as well.
Eardley to take this throw for City into Hopper. Hopper goes past his man, goes down to ground, nothing given. Keeper Ben Garrett comes out and gathers. It remains Lincoln 1, Burton 2.
Now needs to be stronger there, Hopper, doesn't he? He's trying to buy a penalty, and it was his first touch that took him away from a defender, and really, as I said, just tried to buy the penalty.
O'Toole has it. Looks for Sarkic, but can't find him because we'll come out just to the right of his penalty area to pick it up. Bridcut now for City on the edge of his own penalty area, looking for options. Finds Connor Coventry. Long ball forward, one for Hopper to chase against Buxton. Interesting battle between those two so far this afternoon. One I'm sure you'd have thrived under, Tomo, back in your day.
Yeah, I mean, Buxton been around a long time as an experienced defender. It's Hopper, a young player learning the game, and
it's that physicality, isn't it, between the two at the moment?
Well, I think really, I mean, you've got to move Buxton around and get him down the sides, and it needs to be played down the sides and into feet.
Throw for Burton. The stewards twice trying to throw the ball back in. It hits the advertising board and then comes back at them. Practice for them to do in the week. Practice for Lincoln to defend in the week after this first half, which sees them 2-1 down. Ball is with Joe Morrell. Out to George Grant on the halfway line, off Akins. Will be a Lincoln throw. We'll get to Boston shortly for another update of their game against Curzon. To tell you, Shrewsbury have scored a second against Oxford. They lead 2-0 now elsewhere in League One. Bridcut tries to control it. Now into Edwards for Burton, goes wide to Akins. Brayford now with the long ball forward, down Burton's attacking right, one for Sarkic to chase. Sheehan is there, makes a mess of his clearance first time, gets rid of it second time, only into the path of Akins, and now another chance for Murphy, edge of the penalty area, plays it back to Quinn, 30 yards out, looked like he was going to shape up to shoot. O'Toole joins forward in this attack. Here's the left back Hutchinson, who set up the second goal for Burton. They've now gone back to the halfway line. Quinn plays it forward into Hutchinson, not the greatest of first touches, but he's still kept hold of the ball. Does go out to play this time. It is a Lincoln throw. Let's get an update of Boston at Curzon with Mark.
Yeah, it's still 1-0 to Boston here. Jordan Thewlis' 20th minute penalty. Martin Walford has just gone close again. Left foot just past the post, and then Peter Crooks had to be lively a couple of times. A couple of good saves from him. But Boston United just shading this. It's 1-0 to Boston.
In the Premier League, Crystal Palace have taken the lead against Watford. 1-0. Tomo, as we head into the final 10 minutes of this first half, Lincoln just been rocked by that goal, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been shambolic defending from both teams, to be honest. It's
His foul was against Tom Hopper.
It's been a first half, Rob, of unforced errors, and really both teams miscontrolling the ball or letting the ball roll under the foot, and really both back fours looking really fragile.
It's one of those games you can see it finishing 3-3 or 4-3, can't you, at this rate?
Yeah, so it'll finish 2-1.
Probably. Peterborough taking the lead against Portsmouth 1-0. Elsewhere in League One today. Ball with O'Toole. Goes to his centre-half partner Buxton, and across to Brayford for the away side. Lincoln 1, Burton 2. If you're just joining us here on Hope and Glory. 9 minutes to go until the break.
I'm never sure about this just one up the front, Rob. I mean, Hopper's just up there on his own, isn't he? And when you get the ball, there's no out ball. You've got to play through the midfield because there's no option. You're not going to get the ball up to Hopper, just 1v4.
Yeah, Tyrese John-Jules out for the season. That's one less striking option on the bench. Today you would say the attacking option is Harry Anderson or Zach El-Bazidi. No, recognised striker on the bench for City. Brayford for Burton over the halfway line. Goes back to Akins. Across to Buxton. Further across to O'Toole. Akins has made a run wide right and he's in acres of space. Melbourne goes across to look out for him. Burton have it with Brayford over the halfway line. Boswick comes in to win back possession for City. Now can Morrell set Scully on the counter-attack. It's a good challenge in from Quinn. And again, Burton on there attacking left with plenty of options. This time they've given the ball away. Hutchinson's pass wasn't a great one. Bridcut looks to play it out to the left to Grant. Nice touch from City's wide man to Melbourne. Back to Bridcut, gets the ball caught beneath his feet and then steps away from Edwards and gets a free kick.
Bridcut, for me, too many chances. I don't understand why Bridcut's coming deep and taking the ball off the centre-backs when the centre-backs can have the ball. For me, he needs to be further up the pitch and creating rather than being more defensive where he is at the moment.
Coventry into Scully. Turns away from his man. Goes back out to Eardley for City. 2-1 down. Ball helped through to Scully. Now there's space for Melbourne to move into edge of the penalty area. Looks to take on Akins. Finds George Grant. Grant gets the ball caught underneath his feet, but he's kept hold of possession. Grant skips away from Akins. Out wide to Melbourne. Going to get across him, but then puts back inside. Melbourne into the penalty area. Comes back out to Morrell. Morrell fizzes it into Coventry, trying to turn. He's got his back to goal. Back out to the right back, Eardley now, looking to go past his man. Eardley looking to dig out across. Does dig out across to the far post. Grant helps it back across goal. Hopper scores! Like buses, you wait for one for ages. Two come along at once. And Tom Hopper, second of the afternoon. It's Lincoln 2, Burton 2.
Yeah, it was good work from Grant again, wasn't it? And also good work from Scully down the right-hand side. Good ball to the far post. Well drilled back by Grant, and Hopper really sharp in the movement there. Good finish.
So 2 for Hopper.
I think you might have to amend that to 4-2 now, Rob, or 4-3.
Yeah. 2 for Hopper, 2 for Lincoln, 2 for Burton. About all the 2s this afternoon.
As I said, both back fours really looking like they're going to concede all afternoon to me.
And quite a similar goal to Burton's second in the fact that George Grant was left completely open at the far post. He just helped it back across and Hopper put it in.
Yeah, defenders going missing from both teams.
Tomo's former side Sheffield United with the lead against Norwich. 1-0. So.
Well, we said Hopper needed to come to the party.
And he has. He certainly has. Tom Hopper with 2. And Lincoln with 2. Burton with 2. And it is 2-2 with 5 minutes to go. What has been an entertaining encounter. The 4 goals. So Scully just out of play there. Yeah, an entertaining encounter, but mainly due to poor defensive play from both sides.
Yeah, it's just been 2 teams that have made, as I said, individual errors, collective errors, poor marking from both back fours, and really goals that have not had to be worked for, they've just been given away.
Throw for Burton. To the halfway line, headed away by Eardley. Coventry tries to get in there and win it. Ball across to Brayford. Looking for options. Goes to Quinn. Now Buxton. To his left is O'Toole. On the halfway line is Burton centre half. Across to Brayford once again. Now with Akins for the away side. 2-2 here on Hope and Glory. Ball chipped forward. And Eardley plays it back into the path of Josh Vickers with his head. Good cushioned header. back to Vickers, and it remains Lincoln 2, Burton 2, Tomo.
Yeah, with 4 minutes to go plus added time, Rob, I think both managers will be desperate to get into their dressing rooms and sort the players out, and I would imagine there'll be a rollicking or two from both managers to the players.
Long ball forward. Hopper tries to win the header. Melbourne can take his time over this one. And then Sheehan goes long. Hopper tries to win the header. Lincoln trying to win the second ball. Can't do so. Bridcut heads it back towards goal. Edwards has gone down. Not happy with the referee. And the ball out of play for Burton throw. And Edwards is saying that he got an elbow and then was kicked on the floor. He's not happy at all, and the referee's going to go over and speak to him, I think.
It's poor play from Edwards, the Burton player, isn't he? Bridcut's really challenged, won the ball well. He's gone down, Edwards, the Burton Albion player, as though he's broken his ankle, and suddenly when the ball's gone out of play, sprung back into action. I don't like to see that. That's play acting for me. Poor.
Still being spoken to by the referee, so Lincoln 2, Burton 2. Burton twice taking the lead through Joe Powell, Lincoln twice equalising through Tom Hopper. And that's been the story of this first half, really.
Certainly been eventful, and both managers must be really upset with the way that both back fours have defended. The goals have been so simple.
Ball is with O'Toole for Burton. Coventry tries to step in and win it. Burton keeping hold of possession with Brayford. Out to Akins. Quinn now has it. Across to O'Toole once again. It's with Burton into the penalty area. Edwards tries to flick it on. Grant gets sort of a header on it, but not really dealing with the situation. Sheehan goes down. Lincoln will get a free kick, but again, just the defending, Tomo, isn't it? It just feels edgy when Lincoln have the ball in their own penalty area.
Yeah, I mean, every time the ball's gone into both the 18-yard boxes, defenders not dealing with it, and I think Sheehan's lucky to get away with that, Rob. That's not a free kick for me, and it was another goal-scoring opportunity for Burton Albion.
The referee having a word with Quinn. He's asking him to keep his mouth shut. And it will be a free kick for City to be taken by Josh Vickers as we have a minute and a half to play until we reach the break. Vickers takes this for City then. Long and straight. Hopper can't win the header. Coventry gets something on it, but only helps it into the path of the Burton man. Melbourne gets it forward for City. Brayford win the header. Now into Akins. Akins has it. Cross to O'Toole for Burton. Lincoln 2, Burton 2 here on Hope and Glory. Back into the midfield to Buxton. Cross to Brayford on the halfway line. Burton with the possession. Happy to take their time over it as well. Akins now with a bit of space to move into. He's got Murphy to his right, but too much on the pass from Akins. Goes behind. City goal kick, and we're just about to find out from the fourth official, Gareth Mellor, just how many minutes of added time there'll be in the first half. Steve Thompson.
Yeah, the thing about it, Robbie, both teams are happy to play back fours deep, aren't they? So I mean, there's 70 yards between both back fours, so it's obvious the ball's going to be played through midfield, because that's where all the players are, and really it's an expansive game now where there's just so much space for both teams to play in.
Vickers goes short with a goal kick to Eardley, who miscontrolled it and got away with it. He's got away from Sarkic there. Again, Lincoln taking the chances. We're at 2 minutes of added time. But Eardley was lucky there, Tomo, wasn't he? For a second, looked like Sarkic had nipped in.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a summary of the game of this first half, wasn't it? As I said,
as Hopper goes to close down the goalkeeper, who kicks it straight out for a Lincoln throw. I think that was a summary of the first half, Tomo, wasn't it?
Well, it's as if we can give them more sloppy goals away, isn't it?
Quinn for City forward. looking for the goal scorer Powell. Lincoln winning it back. Morrell has it. Melbourne's made a forward run. Lovely forward ball from Morrell. Calls of handball against O'Toole. Nothing given. No real protest from the City players, more from the City supporters. Bridcut has it. Fizzes it out to Scully, who just loses his touch there. And it goes out, and it will be a throw for Burton.
Yeah, as I said, I think both managers will be desperate to get in the changing rooms and say one or two words to the players.
Certainly a up and down first half if you're a Lincoln City fan. That is for sure. Morrell back to Bostwick, who gives the ball away straight to the feet of the goal scorer Powell on a hat-trick, as is the Imps centre forward Tom Hopper. First 2 goals for the club this afternoon since his move from Southend United. Coventry wins it for City in the midfield. Back to Melbourne on the Lincoln left. Grant has it, plays it off Akins. Lincoln throw, maybe one last attack for City before the half-time whistle goes. The referee just take a look at his watch. Melbourne looking for someone to throw it to. Tries to throw it to Grant. Akins should be able to clear this one forward, and Long. Referee takes another look at his watch, blows on his whistle. Half-time, Lincoln 2, Burton 2. Burton twice taking the lead through Joe Powell, but goals from Tom Hopper in the 21st and 39th minutes, levelling for the Imps. Let's get the half-time thoughts of our match summariser, Steve Thompson.
Well, for me, Rob, it's a first half to forget for both managers. Soft goals given away by both teams. 15 minutes in the first half. Lincoln didn't play at all that opening 15 minutes, and really Burton could have been 2 goals to the good, and maybe just putting the game to bed. But it's been desperate defending from both back fours, and as I said, goals that have just been, they've not been created, they've just been given away by enforced errors. Really, both managers need to get into the teams. I mean, it's been miscontrol, passes gone astray, and just a poor 45 minutes for me from both teams.
Is this down to Lincoln changing that back four this afternoon, or do you think this could have happened anyway?
Well, I mean, as a manager, you never know. If you could predict games, every manager it'd be a simple job. And I mean, you could argue they've not had a game for a fortnight. I mean, it does look like they've not played.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
We're awaiting the 2 teams to make their way out for the second half here at Sincil Bank. It is Lincoln City 2, Burton Albion 2. A game first half full of mistakes, that is for sure. In that first half, a lot of the goals coming, a lot of the chances coming from errors. Elsewhere today, Boston United are 1-0 up against Curzon Ashton in National League North. In the Northern Premier Division, Gainsborough Trinity leading against Lancaster. Grantham Town trailing against Atherton Collieries. I'll get Steve Thompson to put his headphones back on, and we'll have a chat about what to expect in this second half. Don't give me that look, Tom. That's what we pay you to do, to talk to me. Look, there's a lot of work for both managers to do, but if you was in the 2 dressing rooms, who do you think would have been the happier of the 2 at the break?
Neither. I wouldn't have been happy if I were either manager, because, as I said, there's been individual errors, there's been collective errors, playing the wrong parts of the pitch. And I looked at you like that because for the first 45 minutes, I've not seen 45 minutes like it. And I think if Burton would have got that second chance for that second goal, then it could have been all over. But Burton, thankfully for Lincoln, had defended as poorly as Lincoln. So first of all, if I'm Michael Albion, I'm saying to my back four, one is we've got to be tighter, we've got to mark better. And I would, if it was me and I was a manager, Harry Anderson would be on the pitch. I'd bring a winger on to get past defenders and get some width on the pitch.
I mean, Lincoln have looked like a side who, when they have the pace to go at Burton, they're causing Burton a few issues.
Well, the other thing, Rob, is usually this time of the season you've got a fair idea of what your best 11 is, and they're generally playing together. I mean, the Lincoln team is changing from week to week, isn't it? I understand players get injured, I understand that, but these players coming in and players being left out, isn't he? Melbourne's played a few, and then he's not played. He looked ring rusty to me, and just playing the one up the front. I've never been an advocate of playing one up the front, especially at home. You've got to get away teams on the back foot. You've got to really look an attacking force, and we don't at the moment.
So Lincoln will be kicking towards the Stacey West stand in the second half. where the Imps currently level at 2-2 with Burton Albion here on Hope and Glory on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Keep an eye on Boston, on Gainsborough and Grantham.
I mean, what you would say, Rob, is if this second half begins like the first half, then we're in for more goals.
Yeah, certainly feels like one of those afternoons, doesn't it, at the moment? There's been... the chances have been taken as well, haven't they, by both sides as well in that first 45 minutes as we are underway for the second. You know, there wasn't too many other chances, was there, for either side, but the chances they had, they decided to take.
Well, as a manager, if a team plays a wonderful move and they get through you and it's a fantastic finish, sometimes you hold your hands up, but there have been goals that have really not been worked for.
Lincoln have it with Eardley. Goes back to his goalkeeper Vickers, first time. Up into the air. Hopper goes to win it. Coventry then goes to knock it down. Up into the air by Burton once again. Akins tries to win the header. Bostwick heads it across to Sheehan, who needs to be careful. Sarkic was lurking. Hopper then looks for the layoff to Morrell. Didn't work out. Burton winning back possession in the opening 45 seconds of this second half. It's Lincoln 2, Burton 2. Not suddenly taking 2 goals off at half time. Ball with O'Toole now. Switches play. Murphy has it. Looks like a couple of changes to Burton's formation. We'll pick them up in a moment. Just seeing Tomo, Buxton played right-sided centre-half first half. Looks like he's going to play left-sided centre-half second half. Why would a manager do that?
I've no idea. I can't see the differences. Unless he just decided so that you go and mark Hooper tight and leave the other centre-half to be free. It's the only reason I could think of doing that, because, I mean, he's not blessed with pace, Buxton, and if he gets 1v1, he will get outrun.
Yeah, it looks like as well Lucas Akins, who was playing a attacking right position, has gone as the centre forward for Burton in the second half. No change for Lincoln, so it's Vickers in goal, back four Eardley, Bostwick, Sheehan and Melbourne midfield 3 of Bridcut, Morrell and Coventry, front 3 of Scully, Hopper and Grant. Goal kick for Vickers to take. Hopper goes to flick it on. Morrell chasing after it, but it will just drop out of play for a goal kick. In the opening 2 minutes, everybody just making their way back to their seats for the second half. The wind has picked up.
As you said, Rob, it's a 4-3-3 for Burton, but they've 1-2 players have switched positions, haven't they?
Early in the second half, Bristol Rovers have levelled against Southend. That's now 1-1 in League One. Ball into Akins for Burton, keeps hold of it, plays it out to the right back, Brayford on the halfway line. Referee playing the advantage. Akins had been fouled. Still with the away side, who I think are a little bit how Lincoln want to play next season, aren't they? Or how they want to play under Michael Appleton. That's similar style, isn't it? Getting the ball through the thirds, using the midfielders.
I hope not.
Ball is with...
Certainly not at the back, Rob.
No, but
not an advocate playing it round at the back. Players are uncomfortable doing that. It's all right playing it through the midfield if you're playing the ball forward. If you're going square and back and you're not getting anywhere, then as an opposing manager, you're happy. And I think that if you make your mind up, when Danny and Nicky Cowley were here, they pressured high up the pitch. And I think that's the way to do it against teams that want to play like that.
Ball thrown forward by Eardley. Hopper goes to win the header. Buxton pumps into the back of him. Eardley loops it long forward again. O'Toole heads it back to Garrett in the Burton goal. 4 minutes into this second half, still Lincoln 2, Burton 2 on Hope and Glory. O'Toole now with it for Burton. Over the halfway line into the centre half. Ball with Burton and with Brayford. Coventry steps on it. Back to Sheehan. Short to infield to Bridcut. He goes to the halfway line to Hopper. And now Lincoln maybe can spring an attack. Hopper taking his time over it. Goes back to Eardley rather than play the ball to Scully. Now Bridcut looks for the long pass and only finds Link City fans in the co-op stand. So 2-2 here. Goal in the Grantham game. Graham Cowell.
Just 5 minutes into the second half, the Gingerheads opened up by 2 quick headers. Ben Conway 1-on-1 with John Warsnott, made no mistake. Atherton Colliery 2, Grantham Town 0.
not good news for Martin McIntosh in his first game in charge of the Gingerbreads. At the moment, the only side of our 4 featured games that aren't winning, or not losing, sorry. Ball is with Burton. Free kick for them, Tomo.
It's a sedate start to the second half, isn't it? I mean, as a home side, Rob, you've got to dictate the pace of the game as well, and you want to inject some pace into the game at home and get the opposition on the back foot, turn them round, and really be taking the game to them. It's slow and deliberate, isn't it, from both teams?
Free kick for Burton on their attacking right. Cross comes in. One for Vickers, catching practice for Vickers. On his line, Scully's made a forward run. Vickers with the pass, fantastic ball from Vickers, just bounces near Scully and goes out of play, but not bad from Josh Vickers. That was unlucky, that one.
Now there's a big emphasis on goalkeepers now, isn't it? They've got to be a lot better with their feet, with the back pass, and also with the distribution. We've seen that more and more from goalkeepers.
Burton have it once again. Brayford heads it straight out of play for a Lincoln throw. Another mistake in a game that's been littered with them. Morrell gets fouled. Lincoln get a free kick. Reminder of Lincoln's bench: Charlie Andrews, sub-goalkeeper Cian Bolger, Ellis Chapman, Aaron Lewis, Zach Elbazidi, Harry Anderson and Jake Hesketh. No Jack Payne again on the bench for Lincoln City.
No, there's another player that seems to have fell well out of favour, doesn't he?
He kind of worked his way back into the squad, didn't he? And then again has not made it onto the bench. Scully tries to win it for Lincoln on the halfway line. Murphy turns away from Boswick. Boswick hold of his shirt. And the referee blows his whistle and gives the away side a free kick. Once again, we're 7 minutes into this second half, and it is Lincoln 2, Burton 2.
Yeah, still not got going, has it? It's punctuated with free kicks and both teams giving the ball away.
Ball with Burton. Murphy plays it forward. Eardley's got plenty of time to clear this long. Only finds the feet of Quinn now, who skips past a couple of challenges into Powell, who's on a hat-trick. He's already got 2, and he gets a free kick for Burton. He's shoulder barged into the chest area by Liam Bridcut, and it will be a free kick for Burton.
Yeah, once again another free kick given away. Dangerous position just outside the 18-yard box. I think it's certainly not on for a strike at goal, but we'll see if they've got any training ground moves, Burton, for this free kick.
3-man wall for the away side, looking to retake the lead for the 3rd time this afternoon. Sarkic is over it.
I wouldn't have a wall there, Rob. I don't understand why you've got a wall, to be honest.
Ball left-footed, curled in. It's a decent one. Vickers punches it up into the air. Still in the penalty area, headed further clear this time by Bridcut. It was fizzed in that one, Tomo, wasn't it?
Yeah, strange decision from Josh Vickers to punch it.
Ball with the left back, Reece Hutchinson. Finds front man Sarkic, holds it up and plays it back into the path of Buxton. Burton have it now with Quinn on the halfway line. Lincoln with all their players back in their own half at the moment. Burton looking to spin away from Eardley, who does well. Finds Coventry, looks up, can't find a pass long, so goes short to Scully. Back to City's right back, Eardley once again. 2-2 here on Hope and Glory. Eardley's forward ball, not a great one, but Hopper retrieves it, and now Lincoln can spring an attack as Morrell helps it onto Melbourne over the halfway line, urged forward by the City fans. Heavy touch though from Melbourne, and now Burton looking to spring an attack down there. Attacking right with Sarkic. Goes back to Brayford on the halfway line, into the midfielder Quinn. Across to Buxton. Buxton telling where his players where he wants them to run to. Akins bundles Boswick off the ball, and it will be a Lincoln free kick.
Yeah, we've not seen much this afternoon of either fullback Lincoln getting forward, have we? I mean, usually Eardley and Melbourne are encouraged to get forward and put some width on the pitch, and it's not happened.
Just wonder how long the manager leaves it before thinking of making a change or two. Whether he'll change that shape and look for a Harry Anderson to come on and use his pace. Ball with Vickers. Long to Hopper. Can't win the flick on. A few Lincoln fans wanting a free kick there. Thoughts on that one, Tomo? Free kick or not?
No, I don't think so. I think Buxton Wiley campaigner, he got up early and it made it look worse than it was. He jumped early and held his position well. Not a free kick for me.
10 minutes into this second half, Lincoln 2, Burton 2. Boston leading at Curzon 1-0. Grantham 2-0 down now against Atherton. Gainsborough 1-0 up against Lancaster. Brayford has it. Burton infield to Quinn. Now Akins tries to turn and get away from his man. Quinn plays it back to Akins. Nice 1-2 from Burton in midfield. Lincoln tracking back. Hopper trying to get in on Buxton. Ball still with Burton. Good challenge from Bridcut, but comes from in behind and takes down Powell. And it will be another Burton free kick wide left position.
Yeah, another free kick. I mean, what we've been playing, Rob, about 10 minutes of this second half, and it's just been free kicks after free kicks, hasn't it? I'm surprised that we don't want to see yellow cards brandished, but persistent infringements and giving silly free kicks away, you can't get any continuity to the game.
Steve Thompson, Imps match summariser this afternoon on Hope and Glory. Free kick left-footed, curled into the near post, flicked towards goal, and it's a good save from Josh Vickers. Really good save that. First good chance of the second half, and there's another ball fizzed in towards the near post. Just a back heel flick on it, and Vickers had to be alert.
Yeah, the pace I think was what nearly caught Josh Vickers out, but his reaction save was excellent. Really didn't have much time to react to that with the pace of the ball, but excellent save.
Southend leading 2-1 against Bristol Rovers. Elsewhere in League One, Bristol Rovers are another side who've been struggling. Lincoln without a win in 7 up till today. We want to get that win on the board soon. Grant for City goes past Brayford, but then can't get past another man, and now here's a chance for Burton to mount a counter-attack. Murphy has Eardley pressing high up on the halfway line. Burton working it from left to right. Quinn moving forward, dribbling into space. Looks for the run of Akins. No offside flag against Akins. Back across goal, and it's just gone wide. It's a good save in the end from Josh Vickers. The shot came in from Sarkic, and Lincoln were torn apart there from Akins and from good play from Burton on their attacking right. Corner for the away team.
Well, 2 of the central defenders for Lincoln went missing in action there, and especially Sheehan, because Akins just made a run. It wasn't a clever run, and I think Sheehan tried to play offside. He wasn't, and it's another good save from Josh Vickers.
Right-footed, out-swinging corner for the away team. Corner comes in towards the near post. Vickers has completely missed it, and luckily there was no Burton men at the far post, or that would have been a simple tap in with the head, open goal, and it would have been 3-2 to the away team, Thomas.
Yeah, for the 2 good saves that Vickers made, he was caught out there, wasn't he? Completely missed the ball, but cleared by his defence. Space
for Morrell to move into now. Looks to find Scully on the right, but again Burton cut it out. Quinn now has it. Looks to play it forward out of play off Coventry, and just wonder how long the management team will leave it. Looking no Lincoln players warming up by the looks of it, Tomo, from what I can see.
No, there's no movement on the bench.
Hopper has the ball taken off his feet by Morrell. Hopper's made a forward run. Scully's back to his right. Scully now has it. Gets the cross in, really good cross, headed away by Burton, and is that going to go for a corner? Morrell decides to keep it in. Back to Eardley, first time cross. Very long. Grant's going to have to retrieve it. He's got Melbourne behind him. Back to City's left, back across to Bridcut, 30 yards out from goal. Back into Grant once again. Looking to turn away from Brayford, cuts away from another man. He's going to go for the shot. Instead, works it out wide to Morrell once again. Morrell looks to take on his man. Played across goal. It's headed off the line and behind for a corner for City. 2-2.
Yeah, better from Lincoln, getting wide positions now, actually using some width on the pitch, and that's what's been crying out. I mean, all the traffic is in the midfield, so you've got to use the width on the pitch, and Lincoln did that well.
We'll get to Boston in a second. We've got 31 minutes left on the clock here at Sinsel Bank. Scoreboard reads 2-2. Can Lincoln get that third and take the lead for the first time in this game? Grant with the corner, right-footed out swinger. Ball played in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Brayford, out to Morell, looks to control it, take it down. Bostwick now looks to play it to Coventry, plays it short. Eardley with a crunching challenge, an important one. Bridcut then flies into the challenge, and real important block there from Neil Eardley as Sheehan's gone down. Referee's playing advantage, playing on. Murphy now skips past Bostwick, and it's Murphy in on goal. He's got Akins with him. Plays it across to Akins. What a block that is. Connor Coventry saves a certain goal for Lincoln. Sheehan's still down, and now Lincoln looking to come forward. Hopper goes to ground. Free kick to the Imps. Let's get an update to Boston United at Curzon with Mark.
Yes, Rob, it's still 1-0 to Boston here, but they're indebted to their goalkeeper, Peter Crook, with 3 fantastic staves in the space of a minute. The first one was absolutely world-class. Robert Evans, the skipper for Curzon, cut inside for all intents and purposes, 1-on-1, and then Peter Crook with a fantastic left-handed save to keep the score 1-0 to Boston.
Tomo, try and sum up what just happened over the last couple of minutes here at Sincilbank.
Well, I mean, Sheehan, I don't think it was a good tackle, and he went down, didn't he, and stayed down, and they attacked then Burton, and really there should have been a goal to the good, shouldn't they? It's as you said, a fantastic block from Connor Coventry, and really Burton should have been 4-2 up in these last 10 minutes, Rob.
A couple of really good chances. I tell you, AFC Wimbledon are leading at Bolton 1-0, and Oxford have levelled at Shrewsbury, coming from behind, now 2-2. Lincoln 2-2 here as well, with 28 minutes left on the clock. Bridcut has it, forward into Scully. Eardley's made a run to his right.
You just can't see the game finishing 2-2, can you?
Ball thrown quickly by Eardley into Hopper. Work back out to Neil Eardley. Cross comes in. Chance and a goal! Great finish! And Lincoln City are now 3-2 up here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
Well, as I said, you couldn't see it finishing 2-2, could you? And it's if you don't cross and shoot, you don't score. And Lincoln have been more positive at the start of the second half by playing the ball forward. It was an excellent finish.
Great finish. It's Scully getting the congratulations, and Lincoln for the first time. It was interesting as well. Burton had a man down, didn't he? He stopped, and that gave Lincoln a chance to get across it, and Lincoln, well, twice have been behind in this game. For the first time, they've taken the lead.
And Nigel Clough was complaining to anybody that'll listen to him, the fourth official, the linesman. He wanted play stopping and thought it was a free kick.
Yeah, he's not happy, arms folded. Fourth official's having a word with him. So Scully with the goal.
Yeah, it was a good finish from Scully, wasn't it? Volley, kept the ball down, rocketed into the back of the net. Excellent strike.
Hopper's needing some treatment. He's had to come off temporarily. So Lincoln leading by 3-2. Scully scoring. And we go again. With Burton this time hitting straight out of play.
2 physios tweeting him, Robert. I remember when lucky if you got one.
And even that used to be the kit man or the whatever. The trainer, wasn't it? Really?
The most experienced player that finished playing. He got the sponge in the bucket.
Well, out of play for a Burton throw. So Lincoln leading 3-2. Hopper still off receiving some treatment. Being patched up. So Lincoln temporarily down to 10, but leading through that Scully goal. Great game here at Sincilbank. Ball forward from Murphy, and you now look back on that last 5 minutes, Tomo, just how crucial that Connor Coventry block was.
And also the 2 saves that Vickers has made as well. I mean, it could quite easily been 3 or 4-2 to Burton, but 2 excellent saves by Josh Vickers, and as you said, a great block from Coventry, and Lincoln reply with a 3rd goal and find themselves in front.
Coventry gives it away though to Brayford. We'll get to Boston in a moment when there's been a red card. Melbourne with some defending to do and helps it out of play. Goes behind for a goal kick. Red card in the Boston game with Mark.
Yeah, Boston's getting a helping hand here. Owen Watkinson, the centre forward, has been shown a straight red card for an elbow on Tyrell Warren. Watkinson's been throwing his arms around and his elbows about into Simon Ange and Scott Garner, but this time it's the right back who's copped it, and it's a straight red card. Correct decision from the referee. Still 1-0 to Boston.
Number 19.
Well, they're giving Morel the goal now, are they?
Alan Long just rectified his mistake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought Morel had scored, but then they gave it to Scully, so I thought, well, they must know what they're doing.
I think why Alan got waylaid was that he celebrated.
Scully ran off celebrating like he'd scored, but Morel was the man who, although Morel, when the goal went in, pointed at something, and at first I thought he was pointing to get the ball out of the net, and then I thought, well, there's no point of doing that, Lincoln are leading, so maybe he pointed that it came off Scully and in, so...
Claiming an assist, was it?
Well, Joe Morel's already had one goal this season taken away from him that he thought he'd scored and he didn't get it. So this is certainly one we'll keep an eye on. What matters is Lincoln are leading 3-2. What we need to clarify is who scored it. We believe it was Morel. First the club gave it to Scully, who ran off, celebrated like he'd scored it. So, Lincoln leading 3-2. On BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Boston leading 1-0, Gainsborough leading 1-0, Grantham 2-0 down. Burton now having to come from behind for the first time in this game. Brayford plays it into Sarkic. Sheehan and Bridcut nearly headbutt each other, but get away with it. Burton though win back possession. They're about to, thinking of making a change. Ball with Burton. With O'Toole, and it's Lincoln who win back the ball and can go long towards Tom Hopper on the halfway line. He goes down once again. Referee says no foul. Gives Burton a chance to come forward through Akins. Out wide to Murphy. Back into midfield to Quinn. And across to O'Toole. Moving out of central defence. Plays it to his right back, Brayford. Now Akins has it right hand side of the penalty area. Looks to go past Melbourne. Good challenge from City's left back. Akins wins back possession, then plays it straight into the path of George Grant, who's had a quietish afternoon by his standards. He's looked to go past three Burton men there. Goes to ground. Grant's thumping the ground. He's hurt. Murphy's now gone to ground, and George Grant here is banging on the ground. Michael Appleton goes and had a word with the fourth official. And Grant's going to have to receive some treatment here, Tomo, by the looks of it.
Well, I'm not quite sure what injury he's got, but he's certainly making out as though he's in a lot of pain. But I thought in a space of 5 minutes, I thought there was 2 or 3 free kicks that had just been ignored by the referee, and I think he's decided not to give any free kicks this second half.
Yeah, Grant down, receiving treatment then. At the moment, in League One, Sunderland leading Gillingham by a goal to nil. As things stand, if things remain the same, Lincoln this evening would be up 3 places to 14th in the table. But the gap between themselves and the bottom 3 would remain at 13 points because Tranmere are winning.
Yeah, it's been a funny league, hasn't it? I mean, it looks Rotherham at top, and then Coventry have gone on a run, and Sunderland have gone on a run. Peterborough had a little bit of a blip, but they seem to have got things back on track. Yeah,
Coventry would open up a 5-point lead, at the top, if things remain the same.
Yeah, the fact that they're playing the games at Birmingham as well, if they get promotion, they'll have done a fantastic job. Mark Robbins there.
Yeah, Sunderland, if things stay the same, would be up to 3rd and be a point off automatic promotion, which you think back to 6 weeks ago when people were saying Phil Parkinson might lose his job.
Well, I mean, Lambert at Ipswich just got a 4-year contract, and I don't think they've won for 5 games.
And the side that would be out of the playoffs this evening would be Wickham, who've led.
Yeah, they were top of the league for a long while, weren't they? But they don't have enough strength and depth in the squad, did they? They were always going to struggle.
And one side would be 7 points off the playoffs tonight if things remain the same. Having played more games than anybody else, will be Ipswich Town. George Grant back on his feet. Of course, lots can change between now and full time. Grant Looks like he's going to be all right to continue. Just having a word with the referee there. In the Premier League, just 2 goals. There's Burton about to make 2 changes. Crystal Palace leading Watford 1-0, Sheffield United 1-0 up against Norwich. On for Burton, about to come Scott Fraser. And also, no, I think they've got the sub wrong. There we go, now they're getting it right. So Reece Hutchinson is coming off and Colin Daniel is on. And on will come Scott Fraser for Ryan Edwards.
I don't understand, you have one job to do. The 4th official, he gets a 15 for a 5.
Edwards getting a warm reception as he makes his way off.
Well, he was the player that went down as though he'd been poleaxed, didn't he? And sort of jumped up and made a miraculous recovery.
So 2 subs made by Nigel Clough, the Burton manager, as he looks to get back into this game. 71 minutes played. Lincoln 3, Burton 2. Goal for Morel and 2 for Tom Hopper.
Oh, what you think, Rob? It's been a strange game, hasn't it? From refereeing to goals scored, and
it's been entertaining, but not because it's been necessarily the best football.
Exactly.
It's just, you just don't know what to expect. You can't.
It's hard to predict. It's been lethargic 1 minute, and then there's been a bit of decent football, but generally it's been a game that's been full of errors.
Ball played to Brayford for Burton now. He's moving forward, goes past Morel, looks to play the 1-2, and then back out to Akins, but Melbourne's there and plays it out forward for City. Buxton trying to retrieve it for Burton, goes back to his goalkeeper, and then across to Quinn, and then to O'Toole on a yellow card. O'Toole forward to the substitute Daniel, plays it out of play with his first touch. Doncaster have taken the lead at MK Dons, 1-0 there.
Yeah, they've hit a bit of form as well. Doncaster have late, haven't they?
They have.
There's always a team for me that comes on the rails, one that's least expected.
Hopper tries to win the header for City. Quinn cushions it forward for Burton. Wins the 50-50 against Bridcut. As Buxton nearly gets the ball caught beneath his feet there. He wanted a free kick, he was never going to get one. That was his own mistake. Ball with Burton once again, and with Brayford. Lincoln never beaten Burton at Sincilbank, drawing a defeat in the only 2 previous meetings here. Akins out wide, looking to get the cross in for the away team. Plays it into the edge of the penalty area. Good sliding challenge from Bridcut. Buxton then wins it against Hopper. Lincoln sitting deep at the moment though, with still another 17.5 minutes on the clock, Tomo.
It's not the answer. When you come under pressure and when you get good possession, you've got to push up the pitch, condense the game.
Ball with Murphy into the edge of the penalty area. Lincoln again winning it back through Coventry, almost the unsung hero this afternoon. Ball played through. Hopper leaves it for Grant. Hopper was offside. Grant into the penalty area. Back inside on his right foot. Shots blocked. Out to Melbourne. Goes to control it. Back into Grant. He goes to ground. Referee says no free kick once again.
That was quite funny when Nigel Clough went chasing the linesman. He's chasing the linesman trying to put his flag up. You can't do that.
Ball out of play for a Burton throw. Lincoln fans waving to get Lucas Akins to go back with the throw. Referee takes no notice. Ball is with Buxton at the moment. Buxton on the halfway line. Buxton has it once again to Fraser. Back to Buxton.
There's just no urgency, is there, in the game? It's been played at a really sedate pace, isn't it?
Yes. There's a bit of a lull before the final 15 minutes as Buxton goes to ground and Lincoln get themselves a throw. Gillingham have equalised at Sunderland. That's now 1-1. Eardley to Scully. Hopper gets bundled into the back two by Buxton here, and it's going to be a yellow card for Jake Buxton, the centre half. It's been a good battle that to watch all afternoon, that one.
It was pretty calculated by Buxton as well. He made no attempt to play the ball. You seem to run his studs down Hopper, didn't he? But referees had an indifferent game for me.
Free kick to the Imps. Grant takes it short. Looks to set Scully off, given away by George Grant. Fraser plays it forward for Burton to the halfway line. Murphy has it. Burton then give it away. Eardley sets Scully off, and now a chance for Lincoln to attack. Hopper in the penalty area. Coventry and Morrell make forward runs, but Scully instead goes back. Now with Bridcut. Short to Grant on the halfway line. Back to Alan Sheehan. To his centre-half partner Boswick. Coventry has it, that block he made just before Lincoln scored their third. Looking all so vital for the Imps. Sheehan on his debut. Looks to find Eardley. Hopper's wide right if they want to use him. Scully tries to lay it off to Hopper. Scully flies into a challenge and wins back possession for the Imps, and now Hopper has it wide right. Can they create something here? Hopper goes towards the byline, goes past his man, plays it across the area. Oh, it's just over the bar from Joe Morrell. Tom Hopper's had a fantastic game for City this afternoon. It's a goal kick. It's Lincoln 3, Burton 2.
Oh, it should have been the fourth goal for Lincoln, shouldn't it? Good work, as you said, Rob, by Hopper. Got to the byline, put a great ball into the box, and really, if anything, got too much power behind it, Morrell, didn't he? And scooped over the bar. I mean, this game could have been anything, couldn't it? It could have been 5-3, 5-2.
Yeah, either way as well, couldn't it? That's
absolutely.
Rochdale 3-0 up against Rotherham. Nobody would have seen that one coming before kick-off.
Absolutely not. That's a shock result.
Tranmere have got a second against Accrington as well. They look to form the great escape.
Well, I think Tranmere's pitch might be a big plus for them when I saw it on TV, Robert, at Cleethorpes Beach.
Difficult to play on, to say the least. Ball with Akins for Burton. Quinn helps it back to Brayford.
We seem to have run out of ideas, but Donnelly Nigel Clough's desperately telling him to get the ball forward and stop playing it around at the back.
Burton has it wide left with Daniel. Out of play. Head in hands from Nigel Clough.
Well, Daniel, since he's come on a sub, his first two touches, one is he kicked it out of play, and his second one, he's kicked that out of play as well.
No sign of any Lincoln changes at the moment. 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to see it through to the end, doesn't he? I would have liked to see Harry Anderson on, but if it stays the same, he'll be vindicated, his selection.
Coventry heads it forward. Morrell can't get there. Ball with Fraser. Quinn now across to the right to Akins. Still remains Lincoln 3, Burton 2 with 12 minutes to go. Burton now looking to equalise. They're twice leading in this game. Through Joe Powell, 2 equalisers from Tom Hopper and then Joe Morrell. Looks like being City's match winner as Michael Boswick hits the manager's car with the ball as he clears it.
Yeah, seem to have run out of ideas now. Burton, the final roll of the dice, the final sub coming on for them, just trying to salvage something from the game.
Ball with Burton, looking to play it across the penalty area, can't get a corner. Daniel now has it for Burton, gets away from Scully, good cross in, it's headed away. Oh, it's handball, it's penalty. Alan Sheehan has handballed it in the penalty area, and Burton have a penalty.
Well, he's had an aberration there, hasn't he?
You said, Tomo, you've never seen a game like this at half-time.
I've never seen a game like it. I'd like to say it said everything, but football for me. Oh, well, now he's Joe Ficker saved the penalty, Rob.
Well, I think the whole ground's in shock.
Is that a booking? Is it a sending off? Deliberate handball?
Well, he's done nothing, the referee. So it's Akins with the penalty for Burton as they look to make it 3-3. Sheehan with the handball. The whole crowd's in shock as to what they've just seen.
And me.
Akins steps up, right-footed, and it's a save from Josh Vickers. It was a poor penalty, but Vickers went the right way, and City keep hold of their 3-2 lead.
Just about sums the game up, Rob, I think.
Fraser has it, cross in for Burton. Vickers with a Superman punch away, still not fully cleared, block away by Lincoln City. And now Coventry hopefully can clear it further for the Imps.
I think I said that Vickers would save it, didn't I?
You did. Still Burton coming forward. Into Murphy. Murphy plays it out wide. Cross comes in from Quinn. Played across goal. Not cleared by Lincoln. Spun in and he's off the line. A great save on the line from Max Melbourne.
I think they think it's handball as well, the Burton players.
And now it's gone out for a corner.
What a crazy game I'm watching this afternoon. Have you seen one like this, Rob, yourself?
Hey?
Have you
I've
seen
never
the game
seen anything like this, no.
I've been watching football involved in it a long time, and an unbelievable game.
Well, we've got a chance. Just go back to the penalty. Your thoughts on the
poor penalty? I mean, you've got to save it. I mean, Josh Vickers, I mean, he's my man of the match, I think. He's kept Lincoln in the game.
Corner for Burton. Still got 9 minutes to play. Lincoln leading 3-2. Corner comes in, it's headed across goal. Lincoln still not cleared it. Morrell should be able to, and Grant helps it forward. No Lincoln players forward though, so it's easy for Quinn to get a hold of. Back to Daniel on the halfway line. So Burton have just missed a penalty. Lincoln leading by 3-2. Akins, the man who missed that penalty, helps it down. Fraser lines up the shot well over the bar. And then Max Melbourne, what a block that was on the line, but calls from the Burton players of handball.
Yeah, they seemed quite adamant, didn't they, the Burton players, that Melbourne had handled it. Referee didn't have anything to do with it. And while that's happened, Buxton, the centre half of Burton Albion's come off.
Yeah, Sabara on for Buxton. I can tell you there's a few goals in the Premier League as well. Arsenal leading West Ham 1-0. Lacazette scoring there, and Newcastle leading at Southampton. Alan Saint-Maximin with the goal there. And in League One, Accrington have pulled one back against Tranmere. That's now 2-1. Southend has scored a third at home against Bristol Rovers. 3-1 the scoreline there. Here it's 3-2 to Lincoln. Boston leading 1-0 against Curzon. Curzon down to 10 men. Gainsborough are leading, and Grantham are losing. Penalty in the Boston game, Mark Hone.
Yeah, it's gone to Curzon. High boot in the area. Andrew Hales for Curzon is just going to step up and take it against Peter Crook. Oh, and he scores. Peter Crook got a hand to it, but it's gone in, and the Curzon are level. It's 1-1 here.
So not good news for Boston United. Back level against Curzon. So at the moment, Lincoln and Gainsborough winning. Grantham losing, Boston drawing. Sunderland retaking the lead against Gillingham 2-1.
Well, it's had everything this game, Rob, hasn't it?
We've still got 7 minutes to go, and you just don't know what's going on. The only thing we haven't had is a red card. That's about the one thing we've not had yet.
Well, obviously Burton losing 3-2, and he took his centre half off Nigel Clough and said, right, OK, we'll go for broke and try and get an equaliser. It's a poor penalty, but Lincoln's still winning.
Ball with Fraser now, helps it out wide to the left, and the cross is awful from the substitute Sabara. First touch he's had. Out of play, goal kick for Vickers to take. He was probably quite surprised by just the lack of pace on the penalty, really, more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say, but you've got to give credit to the keeper. But it was just a lack of pace, and it was a yard to the side of him, wasn't it? But as I said, you've got to save it, and that's what he did.
Goal kick for Vickers. It's BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Hope and Glory. Lincoln 3-2 up against Burton Albion. 6 minutes of the 90 left. We'll probably have a few minutes of added time at least. Hopper's gone down now under a challenge from Daniel. Nigel Clough's not happy about something or other. He's certainly been vocal this afternoon. Ball is with Quinn now for Burton. Plays it across to O'Toole, the centre half. And to his right is Brayford. Lincoln still leading 3-2. Burton with the possession. Lincoln getting deeper and deeper at the moment. Hopper wins the ball back for City though. Bridcut has it in Lincoln's defensive half. Coventry played it to Melbourne, who has got himself in all sorts of trouble there. Akins keeps it in play. Wasn't the greatest of passes from Bridcut, but Max Melbourne in all sorts of trouble. Eardley steps in to win it from Sabara. Hopper's going to try and get there in front of O'Toole, who clears it long. Burton have it. Out of play, Lincoln giving away another throw. Taken quickly into Colin Daniel, the substitute. Daniel gets the cross in low, played away by Sheehan, only to the edge of the penalty areas. All a bit frantic and frenetic from both sets of players. Brayford now moving forward, 25 yards out from goal, goes wide to his right, looks for the return pass. Burton looking to get a cross into the box. Grant gets a block on it, another Burton corner though.
Yeah, 4 minutes plus out of time for Burton to try and get an equaliser. As you said, Rob, for me, I think Lincoln have just defended too deep in this second half. They've just invited pressure since they scored the third goal.
So right-footed out swinging corner. Lincoln 3-2 up, as Tomo mentioned. Rob Makepeace, Steve Thompson, your commentary team here on Hope and Glory. Corner comes in, Bridcut's on the ground. Comes back out to Quinn. He helps it to Sabara. Lincoln still defending on the edge of their own penalty area. Chance for Burton to get a cross in. Goes over the head of everybody. Eardley will just see that one out. And behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting interview with Michael Appleton for you, Rob, I think.
Well, we've got quite a bit to cover, haven't we?
Well, I would just say, sum it up for me, Michael.
8,474 today's attendance.
143 from Burton, Rob, I think they said. A few more than that.
Yeah.
Well, man of the match, seeing you asked.
I was going to say, yes. There's been so much going on, I completely forgot we had to do that. So, man of the match.
I'm going for Josh Vickers because he's made important saves when Lincoln had been. It could have been 4-2, 3-2, and there could have been 2 goals for the good, but he's made important saves at important times. So, and the penalty as well has hopefully got the 3 points for Lincoln.
Yeah, congratulations to Josh Vickers. We'll get up on our social media pages on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Michael Appleton, fantastic first touch there. You can tell he used to play football.
Probably in the best touch all afternoon, I think.
Getting back playing in the centre of midfield.
If I'd mentioned that to him, Rob,
best touch of the game was when you controlled it in your own dugout. So yeah, we'll get Tomo's man of the match, Josh Vickers, up on social media for you to have your say on. Instagram at BBC Radio Links, on Twitter and Facebook BBC Radio Links, just sport. As Tomo's deciding to undress himself as we sit in the commentary box. Happy now?
Well, you've got to return it, haven't you?
Oh, your lanyard, yeah.
Identification.
Ball is with Sarkic for Burton, wide right position. Plays it across midfield, cleared long up into the air by Neil Eardley, up into the co-op stand. Still Lincoln 3, Burton 2. We're going to get a change. We're going to see Harry Anderson come on for George Grant.
Well, my wish has been granted a minute to go.
So Grant coming off, Harry Anderson coming on.
Interesting there, Grant. He couldn't make his mind whether to jog off or walk off, and it was a bit of both, wasn't it? It's a wasting time substitution, isn't it?
Yeah. Just for the final few minutes. Anderson on. Fresh legs more than anything.
Hope he's on appearance money.
Gets a warm reception as always from the Imps supporters.
Yeah, he's a favourite, isn't he?
Fans' favourite here, yeah.
It's his never say die attitude, isn't it? And his 100% work rate.
Ball with Burton on the halfway line. Daniel plays it forward. Eardley again there to cut it out. Looks for the chip ball forward for Anderson, cut out by Daniel. Important header that. Anderson would have been in on goal.
Yeah, it's just seeing the final minutes out for Lincoln.
Just waiting for the fourth official to signal. Got 30 seconds of normal time to go. Peterborough have added a second against Portsmouth. That's now 2-0. Coventry tries to play it forward. Morrell has it instead. Cleared along by Burton. Out of play for a Lincoln throw. Well, seen out by Michael Boswick. Oxford have come from 2-0 down to lead 3-2 at Shrewsbury as well. Eardley taking his time over this throw, and we all await 5 minutes of added time. So, 5 minutes to go. Lincoln leading 3-2 in what has been a real topsy-turvy afternoon at Sincil Bank.
It certainly has, Rob.
And a game that will live long in the memory. The game against Gillingham probably has already been forgotten about, but this is one of those home games you'll certainly remember for a long time if you was here. Vickers comes a long way and he's punched it on the edge of his own penalty area. Daniel now has it for Burton. Moves it forward. Brayford tries to get it. Stolen by Scully. But Lincoln not pressing too high up the pitch. So O'Toole has time to retrieve it. Move forward to the halfway line, looking to set Burton on another attack. Burton missing a penalty in this game as well with the scores at 3-2. Vickers going to come out and clear it long. Obviously felt that was going to go out for a corner, Tommy.
Yeah, I wondered why he didn't let it run. He must have thought, as you said, that it would have been a corner.
Anderson tries to get clear. Instead, Burton have it. Now they're moving forward with Sabara on the halfway line. Referee gets in the way of Powell looking to play it forward, but Burton keeping hold of possession on their attacking right. Brayford has it once again. Looks for options forward. Sarkic is trying to get it in front of Sheehan, who just hits it out of play for a throw. Nervy times if you're a City fan. Reaction to come between now and 6 from manager Michael Appleton to what we hope will be a Lincoln City win, but Burton looking to change that here. Brayford chips it back into the edge of the penalty area. Bit of space for Quinn. Goes out wide to the left for Burton to Sabara. Back to Daniel. He looks to get the cross in. Aikins trying to control it in the penalty area. Scully loops it up into the air. Melbourne heads it further clear. Burton again get it back though through Quinn. Lincoln leading 3-2. Foul from Morrell on Quinn. And it gives Burton a chance to load the penalty area.
Yeah, with 5 minutes at a time as well, and it's a dangerous position, isn't it? Set play in the left back position of Lincoln. You would think I would have a left-footed taking this, but it looks like it's going to be a right-footed. Send the artillery up, Burton.
Yeah, 3 minutes of added time remaining. Free kick for Burton, as Tomo says, in line with the edge of the penalty area, in that left-back area for Lincoln. Right-footed. Ball comes into the box, comes in towards the far post, is headed away by Neil Eardley. Anderson can't get there though. Lincoln still with defending to do. Anderson trying to win it back for the Imps. Ball back to Sabara. Cross to Quinn. Lincoln trying to steal it. Morrell can't do that. Quinn steps away from him. Again, patient build-up for a side 3-2 down. Free kick for Burton.
Getting a lot of silly free kicks away this afternoon, Lincoln, and really put themselves under pressure at times.
Sponsors giving Hoffer the man of the match. Scored 2 goals.
Vickers has saved 3.
So free kick for Burton. Once again, Powell who scored 2. Will he be able to set up an equaliser, or can Lincoln hang on? Got a minute of added time to go. Free kick comes in, it's a deep one to the far post, but straight out of play. And Lincoln should be able to see this game out now.
Well, you would hope and think that's the last opportunity for Burton.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, with my manager's hat on, Rob, you sometimes get games like this as a manager that you find it inexplicable about your players, and sometimes when is it the same players that are playing week in and week out. It's like consistency level, and that's why some players don't play at a higher level, because they're not consistent with their performances.
Nick has taken a lot of time over this goal kick. He'll quite happily take a booking at this stage. He's looking for options.
He'll get himself a yellow card if he's not careful.
Nicholas takes it. Hopper gets something on it. Ball is with Brayford. Moving forward onto the halfway line. Chipped into the edge of the penalty area. Anderson clears it. Long ball forward again. Headed away by Neil Eardley. Morrell chasing after it. There is the full-time whistle.
Michael, plenty to digest after that. What are your reflections overall?
Well, I said to the players in there just then, I'm not going to say exactly what I said, but I did say to them, I'll give you my emotional thoughts right now after the game, and then I'll give you a little bit more constructive thoughts and thinking after I've watched the game back and I've settled down. But I think, joking apart, my biggest message is that if we would have defended like we did in the second half, in the first half, I felt we would have won the game come to it. And the reason I say that is that we knew and know that Burton are a good side. They put a lot of bodies forward, and we knew we would have hurt them on the counter-attack today. What we didn't do is we didn't defend particularly well in the first half. We weren't aggressive enough. And then that obviously turned the game into a bit of a basketball game in the first half, where it was end-to-end. We end up having to defend very well in the second half, because we go ahead in the game for the first time. And as we all know, whether you played the game or haven't played the game, but you've watched the game, it's a lot easier to play when you're behind and you're chasing the game than it is when you're in front, because you've got something to hold on. So, yeah, I suppose very, very mixed emotions, but probably the most important emotion is that we've won the game. It's been a difficult period for us. And, you know, one or two players can be delighted with the performance today.
Can you give us a flavour of your emotional reaction after the game? Was it?
Yeah, no. I was just. It was one of them where, you know, don't do that to me again type thing. You know, it was like, yeah, like I say, we were nowhere near aggressive enough in the first half with how we defended, and I don't know if that's because we had the break, or I don't know. We certainly did a lot of stuff in possession over the last couple of weeks, and you know, sometimes having the break like that can work for you and against you. Having said that, the way the players come back into the game on both occasions, they deserve a lot of credit for their attitude.
With all that in mind, were you quite relieved to be 2-2 at half time?
No, because having sort of looked at the bits and pieces then, at half time, I actually thought we should have been in front, as daft as it sounds. You know, if you look at the actual genuine chances, it was more second half where I was relieved. First half, like I say, we've given 2 goals away that were so soft, and that's unlike us really. I know we had a crazy 90 minutes against Accrington, but apart from that, you know, we've not been one for really conceding soft goals. So that's something we need to be aware of. But yeah, I think it was more second half where I never really felt comfortable. But like I say, our attitude to defend and want to stop the ball going in the back of the goal in the second half was second to none.
And Tom Hopper, particularly the second one, Some great finishes.
Yeah, very good. You'd expect him to finish the first one. Good work by Scully, but obviously fantastic finish the second one. I think even if he didn't score today, his performance was outstanding. I think we've seen signs of that in the Accrington and the Gillingham game, and you really seen and got a flavour for what he's capable of. Because he had to take a lot of responsibility on his shoulders today. Obviously, with the news in midweek of Tyrese being injured for the rest of the season, having to sort of go back to do his rehab, there was a lot of responsibility on him, and he took that today.
Do you like the way him and Scully are linking up together?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we've had, it was funny because obviously we changed things at half time slightly, thinking that they'd stay the same, and obviously they changed at half time as well. And I think with Scully and Hops, it's almost a little enlarged scenario, a little pocket rocket, and obviously Tom, who can deal with the ball in the air and can deal with the physicality of big centre half. So let's hope that continues.
And Josh Vickers, another penalty save from him. I think that's 2 in a row from him now.
Yeah, but I mean, this one counts, doesn't it? And I said that to him, and he knows what I mean. It's like one of them where there's no point. Well, there is, of course there is, but you feel like there's no point really saving one if you lose the game, and the way we did at Accrington. But they're the sort of like big moments in games and seasons that that you have to have, and players need to step up. And it was a big strong hand, and you could tell it give everyone a little bit of energy.
And I thought there were 2 big moments either side of the penalty save. Conor Coventry made a really important block to deny Aitken, I think, and then Max made a crucial block soon after the penalty, but a block on the line soon after the penalty.
Yeah, again, and that's the whole point. Goals, but they leave themselves wide open when they do that, and I felt we could have really hurt them.
How do you think Alan Sheehan did today on his debut? Do you feel you're almost safe now?
No, 100% points that we want to achieve more than comfortably. But if we achieve our goals, then I think we've just seen coming in the back of the room getting punched by Sheehan when he scored the goal by accident. And no, I think we're all right. I think we're okay. I mean, obviously George was struggling with his ankle a little bit. He rolled his ankle. How that was, no, that one. I think it'll be Scully because obviously strikers, they're very selfish, and rightly so. Rightly so, by the way. I feel for Joe a little bit because obviously he had one chalked off against Bolton. But if I know anything about forward-thinking players, then I'm sure Scully will win the argument on that one.
Yeah, and just finally for me, what's planned for this week? You got any friendly matches arranged at all, or just a week on the training ground?
No, yeah, nothing this week. Possibly the following week, but yeah, just a week at the training ground, and just make sure that our mindset is very, very similar to how it was in the second half, because obviously Tranmere have had a good win today on the back of the Shrewsbury game where I was at, and it's a difficult place to go. 1, because of the pitch, but obviously 2, now they've got a bit of purpose behind them.
Great, thanks, Michael.
Michael, a mini milestone for you today. It was your first league double since you arrived here. Beat Burton home and away. Yeah. And chance for another one next Saturday, fingers crossed.
Yeah, very different games as well. Obviously, this one and the one at their place. Thought there was more control to our game at their place last time round. It was a little bit manic at times today. But if we can keep getting the 3 points and do another double on next Saturday, then I'll be delighted.
Yeah, if you get a chance to watch the DVD back, there was a moment, it's 15 minutes to go, Joe Morrell fired the ball just over the bar from Hopper's pullback, but 9 outfield players touched the ball in that move. That's not something I can recall in a long time. I think only Max Melbourne wasn't involved. It was a brilliant shame Joe couldn't put it away.
Yeah, well, I have got one with 10. And I'll show it. I'll bring it in and show it you. But no, I appreciate the change the shape 2 or 3 times in the game today. Who've been playing at this level for a while now, and this is our first time for a hell of a long time. We want to grow as a group. We want to grow as a football club, and we want to be known for playing a certain way, but being aggressive with it, because the lads will tell you first half. I thought we were good with the ball first half and did well, but we were just nowhere near aggressive. And didn't want to stop the opposition playing enough. So, yeah, it was a good move. I remember the move. Couldn't quite work out how Joe missed it, but yeah, I suppose that's why I'm going to be biased and give it to Scully.
Thank you.
Michael, Conor Coventry had a good game today. How do you think he's progressing?
Really well. I thought he did very well against Gillingham a couple of weeks back as well, where he grew into the game as well. And he's Connor's basically one of them. Before the week leading into the Gillingham game, his performances in training were almost, give me the shirt, I want the shirt, and he got that, because there's a couple of players who quite easily could have got it. And then I thought he did well against Gillingham, and then obviously today, he's had to put a different performance that people at West Ham and people within youth football probably have seen of Connor in terms of his passing ability and keeping it nice and tidy and not giving the ball away. But he's had to really, really dig in at times. And the ground he covered to get back and make the block, people will just remember the block and think, oh, well done, yeah, great block. But the actual ground he covered to get back and do that was very good.
Thank you. Obviously, with the impact you've had to the strikers recently, you set up slightly different today. You went with one extra man in the midfield. Is that something you've been working on in that break that we've just had, because we haven't seen it as often this season?
No, yeah, definitely. And I think obviously expecting Burton to start with a free like they did, it certainly it helped us in possession, but then it hindered us out of possession a little bit, which we had to tweak it a little bit at half time. So obviously, losing Tyrese a little bit took that option of sort of playing with two up top away from us. Scully can do that, we know we can do that, but that's an option that if we want to do, but without embarrassing him too much, when you've got Hops in the form and sort of frame of mind that he was in today, and obviously the last couple of games, he can play up there on his own and have a scrap with the centre halves anyway.
Sort of turning around full cycle back to the start of the press conference and the emotions, to support out obviously the first double, and mostly your first away victories for City was at Burton, your first doubles over Burton, so that's emotional in itself. Tom became the 16th goal scorer this year. Enough going to rob Joe of becoming the 17th, I'm sure of that one. But I thought the emotional bit came from your colleagues on the bench at the end, as they turned round towards the director's box and places. I just wonder if you and they saw it as a vindication for all the hard work you've put in so far.
Possibly. I think it's like anything. I think when the way the game went, Chris, it was one of them where you're down twice, you come back, you go ahead in the game. We give a penalty away like we're doing. You're thinking, oh God, no. So it was probably a range of emotions. I think there's a real togetherness with the group. There is. I'm sure Tom and the players will agree that there's a fantastic vibe around the training ground at the minute, and there's a willingness and you can tell that the players are really fighting for one another. So that has to be the same for the remainder of the season. There's no hiding place. We want to get as many points as we possibly can and make it as difficult for every team that we face.
So, delighted. Obviously, I think I said a couple of weeks ago in a press conference that it's not something let bother me too much, because I back myself when the chances do come. And I feel like I've sort of vindicated that today. It's nice, it definitely settles you down a bit, and obviously then for the second one to come as well is even better. But more importantly, obviously 3 points as a team, it's brilliant. I think to sort of the fight we showed as a performance, obviously the blocks, the penalty save, so it topped off a great day.
Andy Scully set up your first one. Are you combining well with him? Is that relationship coming together, more you play together?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's only something that's going to improve throughout the team. But definitely with Scholes, he's lively. He's a forward-thinking player, so it suits me. And obviously, he's put on a plate for me today.
What was it? What was the game like to play? Do you feel you had a bit more control in the second half than perhaps the first?
I think out of possession we probably set up a bit better, because they did try and change their shape a few times but I think we sort of stood up to everything they did throw at us, and we kept our discipline well, and obviously when going ahead in the second half, we sort of stood up to everything that was thrown at us.
Seems to take a few knocks today. How's the body?
Yeah, battered and bruised, but it'll be all right come Monday morning.
Is that as part of your job, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't mind that. I quite enjoy it, to be honest, especially when you win. It's a nice feeling, sort of coming off having a good sort of, as you say, scrap with the centre halves. So it's all fun and games.
Are you feeling? Will that give you a confidence boost? Was confidence an issue anyway, or will that give you a bit more training?
Not necessarily confidence, no, because I feel like I've been training well. So it's from an individual point of view, it's just nice to get the goals and obviously 3 points today, and hopefully now I can build on that and keep progressing.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom, obviously with the departure of Tyrese during the week, do you feel like there's more pressure on you now, sort of being the main striker now?
To a certain degree, obviously now I've got to step up even more. But I think as a team, as a forward unit, we've all got to sort of help each other out, as a group, and I'm sure we'll do that throughout the next 9 games.
As a striker, not wanting to cause problems, what was your view then of the third goal? How did you see it?
I just had the same question on the radio.
Oh,
I sort of said no comment then, because obviously Joe's had one chalked off before. But I think as a striker, you're going to be claiming for everything. You've got to. So I'd be doing the same as Skulls. And so I'll leave that to the powers that be to decide sort of whose goal that one is.
Cheers, mate.
Cool.
That's it.